Hi everybody and welcome to my Unruly Housewife channel. Today I have noticed to my excitement that the channel has passed the 3,500 subscriber mark, which is terribly thrilling, and it's become a tradition now. Every time my channel passes a milestone of 500 subscribers, we look at 5 things I own that spark joy. And if you don't understand why I'm saying spark joy, Google Google spark joy, it will soon tell you. Okay, so basically we're going to laugh at 5 things that I own. That's, or just look at them. Okay, so thing number 1 that sparks joy: Hitler dead. I think most of us are pretty pleased that Hitler's dead, and this is the News Chronicle from Wednesday the 2nd of May 1945. It costs 1 penny, and it's not a replica. This is actually something that my mum had in her house, which I guess her mum kept, although my mum swears it was a drawer liner. But anyway, yeah, Hitler is dead, and apparently he died fighting heroically against the Bolsheviks. Did he? So there you go, that's thing number 1, and it doesn't come much better than that, does it? Goodness. Okay, thing number 2 that sparks joy is this adorable thing. I want you to look at that. Now, I made that myself. It's the first thing I ever made using cross stitch, and I was so thrilled with this. I did it the year that I moved up to Manchester, and I was so thrilled with it. So I'm getting the dust off. I was so thrilled with it that I gave it to Dave as a present, and I'm going to say Dave was a little bit underwhelmed, I felt. I'm not sure why a 27-year-old man wouldn't be thrilled to put that on display in his, in his house. But yeah, Dave was slightly underwhelmed, but it still sparks some joy for me because look, mad skills. So that's my embroidery. Now, thing number 3 that sparks joy are these, my bolt cutters. Look at them, aren't they fantastic? Now, if you watched my video a little while ago, I used these bolt cutters to trim my wedding bouquet because they're fake flowers with like steel rods in them, and they were too long but unbreakable. So I used these for that, and I thought that I'd come to the end of my use for bolt cutters unless I decided to like break into an airbase and protest or something. But to my absolute surprise, I needed them again, and I needed them to trim down the end of my wedding headdress. because it's like on a headband, and it's kind of steel headband, and it was coming down to here somewhere each side. I'm not sure whose head it was made for, and I don't consider myself to have a small head, but it was way too long. So, and again, kind of steel. So the bolt cutters. So yeah, bolt cutters are a must for every bride to be, and definitely the 3rd thing that sparks joy. The 4th thing that sparks joy in my home is this that I found. I've had this since I was 17, and it is a piece of stone from Vesuvius, Mount Vesuvius, the volcano that erupted and covered Pompeii. History buffs will know. Don't ask me when. And I went to Italy and stayed in Sorrento with my friend Marie and her mum and dad when I was a teenager. They took me there on holiday, and we went up to the top of Mount Vesuvius. We walked along the edge around the crater, and really annoying because we got all the way up there, and then the middle was full of mist, so you couldn't see into it at all, but you could see the mist. The funniest thing about that day was that when we went up to the top of Vesuvius, we had to sit on a kind of chairlift, and this was in the 70s. It was before health and safety was invented. It was properly rickety, and Mari was incredibly scared of heights. So I obviously spent the whole journey doing this. She was screaming. And it's quite fashionable then to wear those Dr. Scholl or Dr. Scholl sandals with the wooden ones with the strap across that was leather. And one had clearly dropped off of somebody who was sitting on this chairlift thing, so your legs were just dangling. And I looked down and I said, at the rocks, and I said, there's a skull down there. And she started screaming again because she thought I said skull. So yeah, thing number 4, a piece of Vesuvius. And I was young when I took this. I realise now that if everyone who visited took a bit home, Vesuvius would be 2 foot tall by now, so sorry about that. And thing number 5 is this. More bedtime stories to read aloud. And I loved this book when I was a child. It has beautiful pictures in it. I'm going to try and find you some of them. Look how sweet they are. I read these stories over and over. Now, when I was little, I used to play a lot with my cousin Gillian. And then we sort of went our separate ways. Became quite different people, had quite different lives. But we hooked up again on Facebook. And I must say, oh look, isn't it sweet? I must say that, well, this year we're both getting married and we both have pink hair. So there's been some kind of genetic predisposition to do that, at least. Look at this. This is one of my favourite stories. It's called 3 Boys in a Tree. I love this book. So yeah, and the reason I'm mentioning my cousin Gillian is because when I looked inside it, because I haven't really studied it for a while, it says this: to Valerie, love from, well, from, she didn't say love, to Valerie from Gillian, 1964, which meant that probably for my 6th birthday, the 5-year-old Gillian went out on her own, went shopping and chose me a book. So that's amazing. So thank you, Gillian. Thanks for the book. And it really was one of my favourite books ever. I don't know if anyone else has read that. Do let me know in comments if you did. And those are my 5 things. So I hope you enjoyed that. I want to say a big hello, shout out to my son Stephen and his wife Hayley, because they live in Dubai and apparently they watch all my non-claying videos. So hi Stephen, love you, miss you so much. And I'll say a shout out to my son Paul, who lives in Brighton with his wife called Hayley. And I'm looking forward to seeing you at the wedding. Both of you, I love you both. More kisses. And I'll mention my son Brandon. He hasn't met a woman called Hayley yet, but I'm sure he will get married eventually. Thank you. Thanks for subscribing to my channel. I hope you enjoyed this. Do leave your comments down below, and I'm not even gonna ask you to do anything else other than have a beautiful day.